Flosstube, it's Elizabeth, aka Running Stitch, and oh my gosh, I am back with an update within a week. Kind of can't believe it, but thanks to COVID-19, I am home and I have lots of time on my hands. So, yeah, that's about really all that's going on in a life update. Is my family and I have self-isolated ourselves here at home. We've minimized getting out for about 2 weeks now. So only trips to the grocery store are being made, and nobody is in outside of our 5-member family, and the kids basically have not left the house at all, except to go on like a daily bike ride or a walk. I've made sure and really kept up with that for them, weather permitting. We've had a bunch of rain the past couple of weeks, so it's kind of hit or miss in the afternoon, but the nice thing is that it stayed pretty overcast here, so when it's not raining, getting out and biking with them is a really good way to get a bunch of their energy out. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. My husband and I are both home. We're both teachers, so my school got our curriculum, I guess for lack of a better word, back online like within a weekend. Now I teach at a small Catholic school, so we had the resources and the capability to do that because I have a smaller staff that I work with. And also, being a private school, our clientele is a bit more affluent, so they have the majority, probably about 98% of them, all have what they need in order to support learning online. So that was pretty, I mean, it was pretty crazy to do, but it was doable. Now, me being an art teacher, I'm a little fortunate because all of my work that I've been asked to do is supplemental, like enrichment stuff. So, you know, I can put up activities for the kiddos to do at home and learn from if they want to, and I'm not required to grade anything. So compare that to the core classroom teachers who are completely overloaded and stressed out right now. I consider myself very, very, very lucky. So not a bad position to be in. My husband, he teaches for a big public district. He's at the high school level. So his district being, 90% free and reduced lunch type of demographic, they have had a lot more struggles getting things going online. So they're about a couple of weeks behind where my school is. And the thing that has got him most concerned is, well, there's two things. Number one, the College Board did not cancel AP exams, so he's somehow going to have to prep his AP students for that. And number two, we have no idea if the state of Texas is even approving online learning as a fulfillment of the required school time, days, I guess, hours, days. It's weird because like their district, I think the students have days to fulfill, and then I think the staff has to fulfill hours. So I don't know, it's weird, but so that's the concern of his. They have announced publicly that they are paying all of their staff through the closure as long as that lasts, so we don't have to worry about losing a salary, thank goodness. And mine, as of right now, is safe as well. So it's nice to take that stress off the table. Food is still a hit or miss situation down here. I did have a couple of people step up and help us out. Their area where they live wasn't, I guess the infrastructure is a little bit more developed, and so their stores seem to be a bit more stocked. So they stepped up and really helped us kind of get our grocery situation under control. So we're good. At least for probably a good 2.5 weeks here. Granted, I have to get creative, and there's no like, you know, I don't really want that, or I don't really want that. Like, it's, you know, you got to stick to the plan. So once what we have starts running out, if the grocery store situation in my town isn't improving, then yeah, it's gonna be a little tough. So I've never lived through something like this before, so I have no idea what to expect. I'm worried about a few things, safety being one of them. You know, there are moments where things seem fine, and then there's moments where I feel like society is about to collapse on itself, and all the things that come with that. So I don't know, it's just crazy, and it's frustrating because, you know, people are not staying at home. And I hate to, you know, I'm normally not one of those people who wants the government to do everything for me. Like, if I can, the least I can rely on our government, the better. But I really do feel like this is one of those situations where I would like for our government to step in and really do something, because, you know, people should be accountable for their own actions and their own behaviors, and our duty is to think about, you know, others and the more vulnerable, less fortunate. And this is really showing that a lot of people are just not doing that, and they're not upholding their personal responsibility to help out society. And it's really frustrating, and it's really sad. And because, you know, a lot of people around here are not rising to the occasion, this is one of those rare circumstances where I wish the government would just kind of come in and be a little bit more aggressive. But we'll see. Things still continue to move pretty rapidly around here. It's a day by day, hour by hour scenario, as I'm sure it is in a lot of your necks of the woods too. So I'm hoping all of you out there are staying safe and staying healthy, staying fed, staying inside, and doing your part to really help out this scariness. So anyway, with all that being said, and knowing that a lot of us are currently quarantined in our homes, I feel like doing a little bit of a longer video today. So I have a finish to show you, another one, yay! I have a new start to show you, and I thought I would take you on a tour of my stitching cabinet, which is just right over here. So let's do a WIP parade. What do you think? I think that sounds like a good idea. So if you are new here, welcome. Make sure and hit the subscribe button, and hit the like button if you enjoy this video, and leave a comment. I love comments. I love reading, you know, everybody's support and positive feedback, and it's fun. So yeah, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. If you are returning and you've been with me for a while, welcome back, and thank you for staying with me in my little corner of the internet. And I'm sure you have seen all of these things before, but it has been a very, very long time. So I thought, you know, it would be appropriate to do a refresher. So first off, let me show you my finish. And I'm kind of in a new setup. I'm a little bit further back than I normally sit. Our dining room table, which is just right on the other side of the camera, that has turned into school basically for my children. So we've got 2 laptops and a desktop and pencil sharpener and power cords and supply buckets and all kinds of things over there. So the table is not conducive for me to set up for a video. So I have set up a card table, basically just a little bit behind the dining room table, and all of my stuff is sitting here on top of a puzzle that the kids have started. So, you know, quality setup right here. But anyway, it puts me closer to the cabinet, so I don't want to stop and start this and have to do a bunch of editing, so I may be getting up and down and moving around. So I'm sure that shouldn't be too big of a deal for you guys. But anyway, so being further back, I'm not sure what the lighting will look like, but I'm going to do my best. So It's about 3:20, 3:30 in the afternoon, so lighting is pretty good coming in the window, but since I'm a little bit further back from the window, who knows. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, which I will put that down below, and I'll put a little message down here at the bottom of the screen. Follow me on Instagram, running.stitch18. You will have seen this finish, but it's always nice to do a video of them as well, because the camera, photography wise on the iPhone, just doesn't really pick up the sparkle that these projects have. So hopefully the lighting in the video will do that. So anyway, this is my finish. This is Sweet Pea by Nora Corbett. It is on 32 count Belfast linen by Picture This Plus, and it's the color Fresco. So it's kind of this pinkish khaki color, and then it's got some like dirty splotches on it, some grays and a little bit of like brown. There's some blue splotches in there too, but it's opalescent, so you might be able to see that as well. Anyway, here she is. This is Sweet Pea. Try and get close-ups of her for you. She was a lot of fun to stitch. A lot of fun, and she went by pretty quickly. I was able to really focus in on her and just knock her out. So I did make quite a few small changes. I listed those on my post on Instagram about her, but some of you may not follow me there, so I will show them to you here. The first change is she had like this black thing on the top of her head, and I honestly couldn't figure out what that was. So I took that out and I changed it just to her hair color to kind of smooth that out and make it look pretty uniform. She had some kind of little like ring of stitches, cross stitches here. And again, I couldn't figure out what that was. And it's like, I don't like that very much. So I took out part of it and I left a little bit of it in here down for some shading like around her rear. But I replaced it with this little tendril, this backstitch tendril, and I put a bead in there. So I think that that looks really nice. I did do some surgery on her, the bottom of her like bodice. So the way the colors originally were done, like the straight line of highlighted stitches here, lighter color stitches, like it comes further down and it just looked really odd. Like this kind of curves around to mold around her waist, but this for some reason just comes straight down. And so I just shortened it a little bit and I took the dark gray and added in a little bit more just to soften that join between her bodice and her skirt. So change that. And then probably the most obvious, if you've stitched this before or you're familiar with it, probably the most obvious change I made to this was her feet. Her feet in the original, like, I don't even know what was going on. They look really scary, to be honest. I know that these pixies from Nora Corbett are meant to be a little less detailed than the Mirabilias because they're smaller and they're supposed to be a little quicker to stitch. But honestly, like, her feet were terribly done. I can't understand it at all. And so not only did I change the shape of her feet and I gave her arches, rounded her heels, and gave her toes, I changed the shading on them. So this leg coming down here, like the way the shading is, I left the shading pretty much the same on this leg that's bearing all of her weight. So according to the shading there, the light source is coming from this direction. But on this leg here, the shading for some reason was done on the front side of her leg. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, if the light source is coming from this direction and the highlight is here on this leg, why is it not the same over here? So I flipped the shading around. So I put some shading down by her Achilles, where the heel is, and then through the arch area. So I just made it look a little bit more realistic, like it should be. So Her beading is fantastic. I love it so much. And I love all the tendrils and the swirly lines. Like, she's just really cute. So that is Sweet Pea. She has, one last thing about her, she's got those big beads. I don't know what size those are. Size 6 beads, maybe? You can kind of see them. Like, if I turn the fabric, like, you can see those big beads. I went through them twice with invisible thread, the Nymo thread, just so they would sit firmer on the fabric and they wouldn't wiggle around. So if you ever have trouble attaching the bigger beads, like, go through them twice. You can't see the Nymo or the invisible thread, and they're more secure on the fabric. So anyway, there's Sweet Pea. She's so cute. All right. So yesterday I had a new start. I am hosting with Miss Oh So Crafty, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. A birthday sal, and since we are both April babies, it is titled #Aries B-Day Sal, and she and I are both wanting to start Cathedral Woods Goddess by Mirabilia, and I'll show you a picture of that right here. That's what it looks like. I don't think Stephanie started her yesterday. I think she was working on her Rapunzel by Joan Elliott, but she may have started this today. I have no idea. She hasn't said anything about it yet, but really, if you don't have this particular pattern to start with us, then we opened the stitch along up to any fancy lady. So any Mirabilia, any Lavender and Lace, any Nora Corbett, any Joan Elliott, any Passio Mercamo, I mean, any fancy lady. It could be a new start, it could be a WIP. It's totally, you know, your call. You have a lot of flexibility there. So if you don't have this or don't like it, then feel free to grab another fancy lady, like, not literally, don't grab a fancy lady, but like pick up some stitching of a fancy lady and join in with us. We would love to see your progress, and make sure and hashtag on Instagram, #Aries B-Day Sal, so we can see what everyone's working on. And I've also loved it because I have started following some more people that I didn't know before, and some other people have started to follow me, and it's just been a neat way to help build the community a little bit more. So yeah, jump on in with us. So my start was yesterday, and I worked pretty much all day on Cathedral Woods Goddess, and I'm actually nicknaming her Muriel because I used to play World of Warcraft with my husband many years ago. We haven't not played in probably almost 10 years, and no desire to go back. But my character in that game was Druid, and Druids are shapeshifters, and one of the armor sets that she wore had like elk or deer antlers, essentially, just like this girl does. And so when I saw this pattern, I was like, that's my Muriel. It's Muriel, which was my character's name. So Cathedral Woods Goddess, aka Muriel, was started yesterday, and worked pretty much all day on her, and have worked a pretty good amount of time this morning as well, and early this afternoon. And I can't wait to get back to her a little bit later today. But she is done on 32 count opalescent Belfast from Seraphim Hand Dyed Fabrics. And here's the card. Oh my goodness, upside down. There you go. There's the card, and then there's the back of it. So Seraphim Hand Dyed Fabrics by Lori. And so this is 32 count opalescent Belfast in the color Bird's Eye View. It is a bluish green, a light bluish green, and it's got some splotches of like orange and yellow and some darker splotches of blue in there. And it's so pretty because I'm not going to take it off the frame for the video, but if I were to open it up, like the way that the dye took the fabric, it almost looks like the image of like pressed leaves, like just the way the dye kind of imprinted on the fabric. It's really neat. And for a woods goddess, I thought that that was ended up being pretty perfect. So here is my start. So she is a pretty sparkly lady. You can see all through the middle here, her gown is full of krennic and beads. So got a good start on the krennic there. And then yes, I did 1/1 skin. And I knew I said that in my last video that I wasn't probably going to do that again, but yeah, I just ended up changing my mind. And my head hasn't hurt doing this skin. Maybe it's because it's on a darker fabric so I can see it better, but yeah, so far so good. You can see I've started her skin up on her chest area up here. And she really doesn't have that much skin exposed. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why I chose to do the 1/1. So she's just got a little bit up here, and then her face is gonna sit right about here. And then that's it. So no legs, no big like fully exposed arms to do, like no midriff for a mermaid, like yeah, pretty minimal. So she's been a lot of fun to work on. I had about 60% of the flosses in my stash already. So I did have to order the ones I'm missing, as well as all the krennics and the water lily that I am missing that my local needlework store didn't have. So those will arrive by Tuesday. So I am working my way through her like with what I have. And I'm trying to make it up to her face like as quickly as possible. So I can like give an identity to her. So yeah, she's been a lot of fun to work on. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the most challenging Mirabilia I have worked on to date. And it's just because she, let me show you the picture again. She has a lot of like leafy vines. And so it's a lot of stopping and starting with thread. So if you don't like stopping and starting a lot, this is probably not a good one for you to stitch. But I don't mind that. It's the counting and it's the double checking of placement for everything. It's just been a bit more intense than a lot of the other Mirabilias. So if you're up for a challenge, this is a good one. She's beautiful and she's definitely not boring. So anyway, Cathedral Woods Goddess, so excited. So when I saw that Stephanie had was working on her Joan Elliott yesterday, I was like, you know, yeah, I'm starting this one, which was the original intent of this stitch-along, but since we opened it up to any fancy lady, like now I'm getting the itch to get out one of my other Mirabilias, or I have 3 Joan Elliotts I could start, like, and then I said, no. Focus on one. Like the year 2020 for you, Elizabeth, is not about starting a whole bunch of things. It is about finishing a whole bunch of things. So I'm holding off on starting another fancy lady. I'm going to stitch on Muriel because yeah, 2020 for me is a finishing year. It's not a starting year. And I do have a couple of starts planned, but mostly it's a finishing year. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing one. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I missing? I'll figure it out here in a second. I picked 9 projects to finish this year. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I picked 9 projects to finish this year, and I have finished 2 of them. My Mirabilia and my Nora Corbett. So I pulled the other 7 to go through just one more time, because who doesn't love to see, you know, projects anyway. So I pulled the other 7, we'll go through those, and then I want to take you through my Stitchy cabinet. So we're already, what, 25 minutes in, and I'm just now telling you to grab a drink and grab some stitching, because I don't know how long this is going to take, but it could be a while, which I guess being the whole point of the video is just fine. So get a drink, get some stitching, get some headphones in, or not. There might be some rustling of plastic, so if that hurts your ears, maybe not the headphones, but anyway. Okay, so the remaining 7 of my 2029 are sitting right over here. So let me go through those real quick with you. Let me hang her up before. Let me hang her up real quick. So here in the middle, this is where my finishes hang. And I still have a bunch of these like baby hangers from my kids' clothes when they were little, which kind of work out perfectly for hanging up stitching. So there we go. I think another 2020 goal should be to get those framed. Okay. All right, so finishing projects. The big one here, the biggest one on this list of goals is my chatelaine. So, or one of my chatelaines. I've got 3. Grief. Talk about 0 willpower. Persian Iris Garden. And as soon as the stitch along with the Aries birthday sal is done, I'll be getting back to this. So here is Persian Iris Garden again. So you can see I've got a good start on those archways down at the bottom. Pretty much with the exception of some beading, the top half is done. So get some good close-ups here. There's the center. I need to fix that charm in the middle. It is like ridiculously heavy and likes to wobble around. So there's the center, and you can see the beading done on those. I called them carpets. I actually think what they are is like a waterway that flows down to the center fountain. And then on either side of those waterways is like flower beds of irises. I really think that's what they are. They're not carpets. So 2 of those are beaded. And then you can see the palaces that form the north, south, east, and west centers there. And then there's the corner buildings. Sorry for the wrinkles in the fabric. It gets folded up. And then the outside corner elements here. Yeah. Sorry, I'm making sure the video didn't cut off. Okay, and then the top, I've got some of the bicones up there at the top, and I have to make sure and put in like padding, like quilt batting when they get rolled up in the frame, so they don't get crushed. But anyway, so here's Persian Iris Garden. Yeah, it's a big project, but actually it's I don't think it's as big as some of the other chatelaines. So I have Scotland and I have Tinctorium, which I'll get out here in just a second. Yeah, this one's still pretty intense. Tons of treasure braid, tons of back stitching, like tons of back stitching. Lots of beads, but they're all kind of concentrated in specific areas. They aren't spread out like on some of the other chatelaines. But it's pretty wild. Like, it's pretty beautiful. So. Persian Iris Garden. Sorry if you're sick of seeing that one. I hope you're not, but okay. So, moving on. I think after that one's done, I'm going to attack Max in the Adirondacks. good old Max. I have had this WIP since college. I graduated college in 2005. I know to some of you, I just made you probably feel really old. And some of you, I made you probably feel very young. I don't know. But 2005 is when I graduated from college, and I remember working on this. So this one needs to get done. And every time I show you that WIP, this WIP, I say that. And I'm kind of tired of listening to myself saying that. So I need to get Max done. Last time you saw Max, I was explaining that I made a boo-boo. I have not yet ripped out said boo-boo. The boo-boo is this lure, which is, I believe, 10 stitches too far over to the left. It needs to come this way. So yeah, I run out of steam every time I get this one on the frame. I've got all the motivation in the world, and then for some reason when I get started stitching on it, like all the motivation just whoosh, disappears. I don't know what it is. Like, I watch Luda's channel and all of her dimensions projects, and they're gorgeous, and I'm like, oh, love dimensions projects. I wanna work on one of mine, and then I get this, and then I get this one out to look at, and I'm like, yeah, never mind. Like, maybe it's just this one, because I have Autumn Glory, and I'll show you that here in a second. Have Autumn Glory, and I love stitching on that one. I don't know what it is about this one, and it's almost done. So there's Max, sleeping kitty. Okay, it'll feel really good to have that one done. Like, really good to have that one done. There are definitely some things on it that I will need to go back and correct. There's some back stitching that's come loose. I will need to couch it down because I'm not going to pull it out and redo it. Yeah, there's just, and then the tensioning, that, I think that fabric is it's a Joblin. I think it's Joblin. And so a lot of the half stitches in this project have pulled on the fabric and warped it. So I'll need to figure out how to straighten that out when I go to fully finishing him. So, okay. Next on the 2020 finishing goals list is, I feel like drum roll please, Angel of Grace. This one's by Lavender and Lace. She's beautiful. I love that she's a redhead, and my oldest daughter's middle name is Grace. So this one is special. Got quite a bit done on her. This is a fabric from my mom. I have no idea where she got it, and I have no idea what it is. I think it's I want to say it's either a 25 or a 28 count. It's an opalescent, and it's kind of a little mottled, like a hand-dyed effect, but again, I have no idea where it came from. So here's where I am on her. At least all the white's done. Because that was, you know, that was a journey. At least all that white is done, so I can concentrate on the other colors. But yeah, I like stitching on her. I haven't in a while, but she is gonna be done this year, so she will be out eventually. Okay, I'm going through the larger ones first here. Next up is a Joan Elliott. This is her Victorian dollhouse, and I got this WIP, this project when I want to say when I was pregnant with my second. I'm trying to find the overall picture here. I got this when I was pregnant with my second daughter, because I thought, oh, that'd be fun to do and like put up in the hallway by the rooms. And then, I mean, you see here, it's not even done yet, and my oldest is 10, so who knows. But here's what it looks like when it's done. Victorian dollhouse. This is a piece of 32 count, I guess raw linen, from my local needlework store. So I don't know if it's a Zweigart or, yeah, it's not a Witchelt because it's not stiff to be a Witchelt. So I don't know, but I think it's a Zweigart. But anyway, here's where I am. So working on the bedroom there in the center with the blue wallpaper. This is a neat stitch because each little room feels like a little mini finish. It's basically a full coverage dollhouse, so it's just a lot of work. And with it being a Joan Elliott, it is a lot of back stitching as well. So there is Victorian dollhouse. There you go. That one needs to get done. Okay. Oops, missed a page. Missed a page. Okay. Next up is a Halloween piece. I think it may be like, no, I take that back. I have a couple of other Halloween patterns. They're just not started. I want to say this is my only Halloween piece that I have actually started. And so this is Things That Go Bump. And I was introduced to this project by, oh my gosh, what is her name? She doesn't Flosstube anymore. Melanie? Mel? I don't know. A Flosstube channel I followed a while ago, and I don't think she films anymore, but she was doing this and it was so super cute. And I love that it's a Scottish, it's not I don't know if it's a prayer, but it's the saying is, you know, a Scottish saying. So I love everything Scotland. So Things That Go Bump. It is in Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue 20. I'm sure the date's like staring right at me. $2014. Seriously, it doesn't say. 2014. Halloween 2014. Yeah. So, Things That Go Bump. If I can sit down and really focus in on this, I can, like, you know, knock it out like quickly. It's on a Lugana. I think it's 32 count. Maybe it's 28. I don't know. Here's where I am. Not a difficult stitch. Really easy. And I have enough fabric that, good grief, Elizabeth, come on. I have enough fabric that I could probably do something on the other side if I wanted to. Yeah. Still cute. I still like it. Still planning to get it done. And like I said, it should go pretty fast when I can sit down and focus on it. So. Okay, so all that's left here for my 2020 finishing goals are 2 smalls. And sorry, I bumped the table. Okay. Okay, so my last mini chatelaine. So in the cabinet you saw the 2 here that are done. So this is the last one. This is the last one. And you saw this one last week. So not much has changed. I think I put maybe like 4 stitches in it right here a couple days ago. So yeah, not much has changed there, but there it is. And then the last 2020 finishing goal project, and you saw this one again last week, is the Outlander bookmark with Claire and Jamie and her wedding ring and Craig Nadoon and tartan border, and it is so cute. And I can't wait to have it finished and actually use it because I want to restart rereading the series. I think I've read through the series twice. I've read the first book alone like 3 or 4 times. And so I'm not sure if I want to start on the first book, but maybe, because I love it so much. But I do want to reread through the whole series. So, Outlander bookmark. Okay. 2020 finishing goals. Recapped. There you go. All right, let me put those. There you go, guys. I'm probably gonna have like stuff everywhere. Okay, so my stitching cabinet. Let me turn you. Okay, stitching cabinet. The top shelf, there's 2 chatelaines up there, Scotland and Tinctorium, and then under them is my fabric stash, and compared to most of you, it is very small. However, I have since joined the Color and Cotton Club, so I should be receiving a few more pieces. I'm sorry, the dogs are barking in the background. Backyard. Anyway, so I joined the Color and Cotton Club and should be receiving a monthly fabric from them to help build up the stash a little bit. I signed up for the neutrals because if I want a wild color, I feel like I'm gonna purchase that specifically for something. So I went ahead and joined the neutral color club, thinking that in the long term would be a good option. So chatelaines are up there, and then fabric. So this is Tinctorium. I know I showed it a couple videos ago, but again, like, who doesn't love to see projects? Okay. It is on 32 count charcoal gray linen, and I think I just bought the linen from 123 Stitch. So Tinctorium. I remember this, I worked on this for quite a while, and that's all I've gotten to. So it's just a lot of detail. It's a ton of specialty stitches, a ton of specialty floss. So getting everything to a stitch like, you know, perfectly like I wanted to just takes a little while. But I cannot wait to get back to this one. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. And I love the bead placement on it. And I had to look up what a tinctorium is. A tinctorium is a place where things are dyed naturally from colors found in plants. So if you look at the pattern in the like outermost corners, like way out here, you can see like Martina's put in like little dye pots, and each corner is a different color. Like, it's just, detail like that is just incredible. So yeah, so if you were wondering what a tinctorium is, that is what it is. It's a place where things are dyed using colors from raw plants. So that is tinctorium, and then the other chatelaine up here is Scotland. Beautiful, beautiful Scotland. Scotland.
Hey.
There it is. It's pretty beautiful. Love the specialty stitches in the center. Love the tartan. The over one thistles. Like, yeah. Beautiful. Aye?
Aye, did you find Bonnie Scotland?
Comedic relief of the household. Okay, so chatelaines sit up there. Alright. Not gonna go through all my fabric because fabric is fabric. A lot of those fabric pieces are from a few years ago when I was in, I don't know. No! Oh, you're muddy. Get. Go lay down. I told you it's been raining for a couple weeks. A lot of those fabric pieces are from when I was in Under the Sea Fabric Club and Hand Dyed by Stephanie Club. And I don't think either one of those exist anymore. So, if you can see the puppy, that's Milo. He's 9. He is suffering from degenerative myopathy. So it's a spinal condition where it's just degenerating. He's losing control of his back legs. We have like black runner mats all over the house so he can get some traction. So he's starting to fall apart on us. And the hard thing about it is his mind is all still there. It's his body that's failing him, and so it's just really, really tough to watch all of this happen with him. But anyway, sorry, tangent. Fabric. So yeah, I was in the Under the Sea Club and the Hand Dyed by Stephanie Club, and neither one exists anymore, but that's most of what that is. Okay, so this shelf and this shelf are WIPs. I want to say regular size, but you know, regular size to me is like probably huge to somebody else. So regular size WIPs like Mirabilias, and I think there's some lavender and lace in there. There's some stitch-alongs. There's a couple things. We'll go through it. So okay, so I'll just pull one by one. Okay, so this, I don't think I've ever shown this WIP, and there's another one coming up. I don't think I've shown these on Flosstube at all. But I found these in a hidden cache of stitching. I don't even know where I found it, but I remember working on these when I was a teenager, and they're still not finished. So this one is Jeremiah Junction Birdwatcher. So when I was in high school, I was dating a guy who was a huge bird watcher. And so my mom found this pattern and started it. And I think I worked on it too. So like both of us kind of, you know, jointly stitched on it. And the only thing left to do is like these houses right here. And because I don't like to like throw something away, I'm going to finish it. It's really dated. But it's still cute, and I don't know if I'd ever hang it up anywhere, but I do want to be able to say that I have finished it. So Birdwatcher, Jeremiah Junction, the designer is Linda Coleman. This is, I want to say, what year is this? 1997. 1997. I think in that year I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. I believe sophomore. I'm pretty sure sophomore. All right, so here's the WIP. And again, like, it's just this corner. That's all I have left to do. Just like 3 birdhouses. So yeah. And then I need to go through and backstitch a bunch of things. But it's cute. It's worth finishing, definitely. So, hasn't fallen off the radar. It'll get done. Like, I have no excuse, right? Remember, like, in my last video, it's like, I have no excuse. Okay. The other one, yeah, that his, I think this is my first cross stitch project ever, and it's still not done, and I still have it. Like, what? Yeah. When I was in junior high and high school, I danced. My main interest was ballet, and I had point shoes and danced on point, and it went away when I went to college because, you know, life. But this is the WIP. So the toe shoes with the roses. This is from, don't even ask me where this came from because I could not tell you. This is Cross My Heart. Ballet Classics. 1990. So it's got, I mean, these patterns are still really pretty, like beautiful ballerinas. So I love this one too. And I love the Swan Lake. But anyway, this is the WIP. So the point shoes with the roses. And I changed the roses to be yellow. So here's where it is. And some of you are like, oh my gosh, Elizabeth, just toss it. Just toss it and be rid of it. Like, your skills are so much more improved now, and there's things worth stitching more on than this. But it's sentimental, guys. Like, this is probably, if not the first WIP, probably one of my first WIPs. And like, it's dirty. Like this is, like, I stitched in hand when I learned how to cross stitch. And so you can see like my hand oils, and there's, who even knows what this stain is? Like, almost looks like spaghetti sauce, to be honest. I have no idea. But y'all, like, it's sentimental. So I changed the colors of the roses to be yellow. So, and of course I didn't write down like what those colors are. So I'm gonna have to go through and match when I decide to finish this. But, seriously, like, who can say they have these things still, you know? Like, when you've been stitching for over 20 years, like, who can say they still have some of their very first things? So I do. I want to finish it. I really do. So there's that. Those are my two, like, oldest things probably in this entire cabinet. Okay. Next up, I'm watching the time on the clock because I think my GoPro will only store like 2 hours worth of things. I think we're doing okay. All right, so this WIP is Amish Life. It was a series in a magazine. It was in Cross Stitch Country Crafts. This issue is in 1987. So that's when these were released. These were my mother's. So you can see it's a triptych. So it was released in 3 parts. So I've got all 3 magazines here. And the WIP, I have no idea what fabric this is. It's definitely a even weave, but here's where the project is currently. Quite a bit to do, but this one's really fun. I enjoy working on this one. So, yeah, it's pretty. So that's Amish Life. Okay. I need to get some more bags, those zipper bags. These gallon storage bags are kind of annoying. Okay, next up is, and again, these are in no particular order. This is The Flood by Plum Street Samplers. This is going to be for my mother, you know, in 50 years when she's still alive and waiting for me to finish this. The Flood. Let me take it out of plastic. This is by Plum Street Samplers. It is gorgeous. There you go. It's huge too, by the way. Huge. My mother and I went to the Stitch Niche a few years ago together, and this was up on the wall there as a finish. It's huge, and it blew her away, and she wanted it so bad, and of course she's not stitching right now, so I was like, well, I'll stitch it for you. Like, you buy the pattern, I'll stitch it for you. This is on Lakeside Linens 36 count buttercream. It's got probably the most boring start ever. So look, this is how big the fabric is. Like, it's massive. What is this? What's the back? Yeah. So I believe one thread over two. But that's the start to the arc. That's it. That's it. Beautiful fabric. It's gonna be fun to get back to this one, you know, because I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna live forever, and all these things in my cabinet are gonna get finished, and you know, the cabinet will get refilled, and who am I kidding? Okay, so the flood. I think I kitted up. Now, this calls for MPIs, and there's no way that I'm gonna, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to stitch the whole thing in MPIs, but I ain't made of money. So, all the DMC, I think I kitted the entire thing up from stash, which I was pretty impressed about. Okay. Next up, last time I worked on this was Stitch Mania 2015. This is Sweet Dreams by Lavender and Lace. Seriously beautiful project. This is another mother project. She started it, and I found it in her long lost stash and decided to adopt it. So, hold up. Yeah, that's right side. I think for Stitch Mania 2015, I put a few stitches in, like in the evening, but there's where it is. Really nothing to write home about, but this fabric is gorgeously soft. My goodness. Can't wait to get back to that one. Okay, so there's Sweet Dreams. Next up, Plum Street Samplers, Strong in the Lord. I got this from the Stitch Niche. The second I read this, I had to have it. It says, put on your armor, child of God, lean wholly on the sun, fight every battle on your knees, and win them every one. You win by prayer. Nothing else. It's beautiful. So this has a couple of Glorianas, which is exciting. This is done on, I've got the called for fabric. So it is 40 count vintage maple sugar from, I want to say Lakeside Linens. Yeah, Lakeside Linens. And again, a very boring start. Like, that's it. That's it. But this fabric, holy moly. Stunning piece of fabric. Yeah. Love Lakeside Linen. I hope they're okay. I know there's a shortage going on finding their fabric. I did manage to find, you know, a couple months ago, I did manage to find a piece of cedar plank. I think I had to buy it from Stony Creek. They still had some. But yeah, Lakeside Linens, man, their fabric is amazing. Okay, and then last WIP on this shelf, which if I, for some odd reason, tire of Cathedral Woods Goddess before the stitch along is over, I'm going to be pulling out this girl. This is Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. She's gorgeous. I'm stitching her on 32 count Belfast by Picture This Plus in the color Conifer. So it's a very deep green. And here's where I am so far. part of her dress. And then the red is her gown, her cloak kind of wrapped around her shoulders. So, gosh, I missed this project. Yeah. Oh, I'm on a huge memorabilia kick right now. Man, I missed this project. That needs to move up in the queue. Seriously, move up in the queue. Okay. So that's that shelf. Let me pop everything back in there and we'll start in on the next one. So give me just a second. I'm not going to turn the camera off. All right. It doesn't look as pretty as some of you other guys' closets, but it's okay. All right, next shelf. This is the thread box to max. This is, sorry, Flosstube itchy nose. This was another Mania start from 2015. This is Angel of Summer by Lavender and Lace. I have all the seasonal angels. I've finished the winter. Winter hangs in here. Started summer and I have autumn and spring. But summer is my favorite one because she has that gorgeous beaded garland that is like probably one of the most stunning things I've seen on a cross stitch ever. I remember years ago when I was in high school, and I think I've said this in another video, but it was like forever ago. I remember seeing this stitched up and framed in the Stitch Niche many years ago, and it was like my jaw just dropped. And I still to this day remain in awe of this piece. And the picture does not do it justice. It is the beading on her is just stunning. So this is on the called for Witchelt linen. Once I have it on the scroll frame, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. But if I were still stitching in hand, this would be awful. Look, it's like, look how stiff this is. It's so freaking stiff. Okay, nothing to write home about. That's my start. That's where I am, look. And I'm sure the stitches are terrible because, no, they're not too bad. Do y'all find that too, like with the lighter colored threads, like I feel like my stitches just don't look as good in lighter thread. Anyway, good grief, this fabric. She's got a ton of beads too for a Lavender and Lace. I mean, there's probably like 5 or 6 colors of beads in her and Krennic. It's pretty cool. Okay. This one is a Sal. This is the Under the Sea Sal from Doreen Jones. Who is it? Lakeside Needlecraft? Lakeside. Lakeside Needlecraft. They're in the UK. Under the Sea Stitch Along. Here's where I've got to. This is on 32 Count Belfast by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. This is the color Junebug. It's a beautiful green. It's mostly green, but it's got kind of got blue in it, so it makes it like an aqua. But there is that. So I'm ready to go down to the next row through the middle, the next row. Yeah, it's cute. Really cute. I was looking at someone's Instagram last night, and I can't remember who it was. And they have this as a framed finish, and seeing it finished, like it all together, it looks really good. So kind of got the itch going again for this one. But 2020 finishing goals, that's the plan right now. Okay. Oh, this beast. Okay, this is Patchwork by John Houtman. Sadly, John Houtman is no longer with us, but his samplers and designs are gorgeous. So this is, what is this one called? Patchwork, but the original has the name of his hometown stitched across it, I believe. My mother has done this one. It's finished, it's framed, it is sitting up on our mantle. It's beautiful. She had it recharted for my family's last name, and then she had it recharted again for my married last name. And I wish I had trimmed this fabric before I started, but you know, whatever. Here's where I've gotten to on it. So my last name is Cantrell. So you can see I've got part of it in, and I had left a needle in the design for God knows how long, and it rusted a little bit, so there's a splotch there, but I think it'll be stitched over. I may treat the fabric before I stitch in that part, but I was going to do this all in blues, but then I changed my mind and decided to go back to the original color palette. So this is 25 count, even, I believe it's a Lugana, which I know 25 count is huge for 2/2 stitching, but that just means that the finished design is going to be huge and dramatic and beautiful. So that is Patchwork. This is another one like Max that I get this grand idea to work on, and then when I get it out, because I stitch in hand on this one, so when I get it out to work on it, I'm just like, I should really stop complaining. I really should. Stop complaining. Okay. Here is Autumn Glory by Dimensions. I know you've seen a lot of people working on this. Oh, it's still in a Q-snap. Huh. That's cool. Okay. Alright, I can do that. Here's where I am. Yep. It's really pretty. I'm using the called for fabric that came in the kit. I believe it's like a, I'm gonna say it's a 16 count Aida. I know it's an Aida, but I'm just thinking of the count, like, what count is it? So, it's really pretty. This one's got, you know, some of the half stitch is done with like 4 and 5 threads to give that like dimensional effect, which it can be challenging on this fabric to get the needle through doing that, so yeah, but the result is really pretty. So, it's Glory of Autumn. Okay, you guys saw this one last week, so I'm not going to take it out, but I'll take the picture out. This is Madonna of the Garden by Mirabilia. Found this at my mother's house. She gave me permission to adopt it. Stunning picture. Stunning Mirabilia picture. And then here's another adoption. This is, and this is from my mom. It's in a pillowcase bag. I mean, way to be resourceful, right? Okay, so this is Cozy Cove from Dimensions. She started it on, it looks like the kit Ada, but she subbed in DMC. And what I think happened, yep. I went to work on this and realized, good grief, mother, like, you did this all wrong. So I ripped out most of what she had done. So that's what's going on right now. But it is a cute folklore piece. It'll be fun to do. Okay. So, Cozy Cove. Okay, so that is pretty much regular size pieces that have been started. All right, now, I think you guys probably know what that is. This shelf is my Hades Heaven and Earth Designs full coverage madness. Okay, so this is the floss box for A Stitch in Time. So sorry. There's the floss box for Stitch in Time. Here's the actual project. Worked on this the other night. And do you see all these Park Threads Nightmare? Do you see that? How can you not see it? So, there's another book spine. The next book. I got bored of doing flowers, so I jumped over and started on the book. So, here's where this one is. Okay. Okay, so this is Some Enchanted Evening by Randall Spangler. I showed this a couple videos back and I really haven't done much more to it, but it is really pretty. So there's where it is. This is a 25 count blue even weave. I have no idea where this fabric is from. I found it in a stash. Thought that with the darker colors of this project, it would be perfect to work on instead of white, so there would be minimal show through. And so far, it's worked out really well. So, Some Enchanted Evening. This is the floss box for that project. And this is the hard copy of the pattern. Okay. So this and this box are Steam Heart by Chris Ortega. Yeah. I haven't even finished the first page yet, so that's where it is right now. If you want to see better progress on this one, go check out Crafty Lisa. This is her main Hade, so you can check out her video if you want to see more progress on this one. I've got a couple other Hades that I am focused on more than this one, so that's why I don't have even one page done yet. But, floss. Then this one was a Mania start from 2015. It is a freebie. So it's a smaller cut from a bigger one. And this was freebie Ice Princess. The artist would be Hannah Lynn. And I just have like one 10 by 10 block done. Like that's it. So this fabric is the piece that I originally started my Some Enchanted Evening on. And I was trying to do 2/1 full crosses on the 25 count, and it was just too bulky. So I cut off the top. The size of this fabric is perfect for a freebie or a mini, so it gets to be reused. So anyway, those are my aids that are started. I have like 5 other patterns on my iPad, but I haven't started them yet. There is one that I am going to start in a couple months. I'll be starting Once Upon a Fairy Tale with my Stitchy friend Lorraine, and I have fabric, I have the pattern. I'm pretty sure I have some of the floss. I mean, it's got 238 colors in it because it's the max colors. I'm not going to go buy 238 skeins of floss. Actually more than that, because I'm sure some of the skeins, some of the colors need more than one skein. So I'm just gonna, pick a place to start. I think I'm gonna start in the middle, and whatever colors I have in that area is where I'm gonna start. So I'm not gonna like kit it up to perfection. I'm just gonna roll with it. So that one will be started, but other than that, I don't have any plans to start another Haid unless like some craziness hits. Anyway, okay, so this next shelf is kitted things that haven't been started yet, and kits. So Luda got me on kind of like a dimensions kit kick a while back, and so when I would pop into Hobby Lobby or Michael's to pick up floss, I would check out what they had in stock, like dimensions kit wise. So I picked up a few minis. I didn't buy these all at one time. I just kind of collected them. But there's Poppy's, what is it called? Poppy Pear. It's super cute. Wolves. I like that one. Goldfinch and Lilacs. And Be a Light. Be a Light. I don't know what the glare situation is doing, so I'm sorry if it's terrible. Okay, you guys saw this one last video. This is Victorian Promenade by Andriana. And we've got Gracious Era, Dimensions Gold Collection. Got Home for the Holidays. You guys know I have a Dalmatian, so I got Achoo. Puppy sneezed all its spots off. It's so cute. Where's the title? Winter something. Ice Fairy. Sorry. Ice Fairy by Joan Elliott, kitted by Designworks. She'd be another fancy lady I could have started. Scotney Castle by Candamar Designs. I think it's a full coverage. Vintage Roses by Merezhka. It's beautiful. This one came with linen instead of Ada, which I like, and I like the way that the floss is sorted. There's a couple other Merezhka patterns that I'd really like to get. There's a bouquet of poppies. There's like a basket, a turned over basket with mushrooms spilling out that I really like. And there's a couple of cityscapes that are really pretty too. Checking the time. I think we're good. I'm sorry, I'm like right up at you here. Okay. At 1:18. Okay, this is Heartstring Samplery, and I believe in my last video I said that samplers like aren't really my thing. There are a few that I do like. I really like the message in this one a lot, which is why I got it. So this is Be Kind Always. Let me take it out of the plastic. The picture is like, I don't like the fabric they used for it, so it makes the picture look really gross. It says, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you can't see. Be kind always, which isn't that the truth? You know, I have really seen that come true during all of this COVID-19 stuff. People just getting really frustrated and lashing out at other people, and you just can't take that personally because you have no idea what's going on in their lives. It's not even you that's the problem. It's they've got something going on that they're unhappy about, and you know, they're just taking it out on you. So just be kind always. Always. Got all the floss for it. These are all classic Colorworks. I think there's one Gentle Arts. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one Gentle Arts, two classic Colorworks, and the rest are, yeah, they're Gentle Art, Simply Shaker. Yeah. Yeah. So really pretty colors. And then I set aside some fabric for it. This is Picture This Plus Ren. It's a 32 count Belfast. So I thought that'd be really pretty together. So that is ready to go whenever I just, you know, get the itch or have time. Not really have time, but like when I can fit it in. Okay. This is, let me pull the book out here. This is all kitted for Father-Son out of Bewitching Cross Stitch. I was going to start this for Mania in 2015, and I couldn't make it through the month. Like, life just happened. But here's Father-Son. I've seen this one stitched, and it's really pretty. So, yeah, this is all kitted, and I still have it kitted because I really still do want to stitch it. This is Buttercup by Under the Sea Fabrics. I wanted to do a tone on tone look with sun on yellow. And if I had just had the DMC, I probably would have pulled this apart and said, nah. But because I ordered all the printing and all the beads, I still really would like to stitch this one. So that's Father-Son. This is kitted for, hang on, where is it? Sweet Bears, which you've seen probably 1,000 times, but I still find it so cute. So Sweet Bears by Soda Stitch. I've got all the floss for it. This was, again, supposed to be another Mania start from 2015. This is Under the Sea Fabrics Daphne. So this is really pretty purple. Still have that on my radar to do. This was going to be a Mania start from 2015 as well. I don't think I'm going to end up doing it. It was going to be this one. So this is Landscapes by Maria Diaz. I was gonna stitch Let me see if I can find a close up. Here we go. Red on me. This one. But I don't have fabric pulled aside for it. This is just floss. I think I'm going to end up scrapping it. So actually I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put that aside, put the book aside. Okay. This is Rapunzel by Mirabilia. That's what she looks like. She's kitted, but I haven't started her yet. She is going to go on Valerian Steel by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And yeah, I've got all the floss, got the bead pack, I mean everything. Everything ready to go. She was going to be my next mirror that I was going to start until Stephanie was also crafty twisted my arm on a stitch along. Here is Mirabilia's Peony Garden. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I think this Mirabilia is the one that has the most water lilies in one project. Check this out. And I'm even missing one. Look at this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm missing one. Those all go to one Mirabilia. Yeah. She is going to go on Ceridwen by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Gorgeous color. So that's one. There's one more down here that's not fully kitted. I take that back. I take that back. Short of DMC, this girl's ready to go. This is The Time Traveler by Joan Elliott. I could also start her this month if I wanted to. I just need the floss. But I've got the beads and the Krennic to her. And she is going to go on Picture This Plus Opalescent in Heather. Now, I know when you see this, you're like, whoa, look at that fabric. And yes, that was my reaction when I got this in the mail. I was like, are you kidding me? Picture This Plus? Like, this is not what this looked like on the internet. And I put this piece of fabric away for a while. I was like, there's no way that I'm ever going to find anything to go on this fabric. Until I found her. And that's what she's going on. So I need to figure out what I want where. Like, she's got this big skirt, so, you know, do I leave a lot of the modeling visible? Do I cover it up? Like, yeah. I'm gonna figure this out, but I made this fabric work. I found something to go on it. It's The Time Traveler. Okay. Still blinking, so we're still recording, I believe. And then I have Enchanted Mermaid, which I've only got, you know, a few beads for her, so that's what I have to show you right now. So there's another side with some other things for my mom in there. Not going to go through that today, but yeah, I'm going to wrap this up because I have no idea if the GoPro is crapped out on me or not, but if it has, I may be recording some of this all over again, so we'll see. Hopefully not. Yeah, so again, if you like my little corner of the internet, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment, and I'm gonna go stitch a little bit, and hope you guys are staying safe and staying inside and not being silly and still wanting to go out and live your life, because right now it just needs to be put on hold. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay quarantined, stay stitching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.